Hello guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be reviewing one of my most anticipated movies of the year, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And with all that said, roll the intro. Now, I am a huge, gigantic fan of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I just love that film so much, and it already feels like such a nostalgic film to me. And I'm really grateful for that, and it feels like a film which I will look back on in a few years and I will just appreciate it so much more. And I was really excited when they announced that they were doing a sequel, nervous to see how they would deliver the film. And then they announced it was going to be a two-parter. And then, after many delays, many trailers, whatnot, we finally got the film. Let's get started with my review. So, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is such a joyful film. To put it in simple terms, this film is fantastic. But where to start? This is a very character-based film. Miles Morales, Gwen Stacy, both get their own character arcs. They both could be argued that they are both the main characters, that there is no proper main character to this. They have emotional moments in their life. They go through character arcs. They have their own story, to which their characters are just developed so much better in this film than I thought they were in the first one. That being said, they were very well developed in the first one, but you get to see where they're at in this emotional form, in this more mature way. And then the way that they deliver and show characters' emotions through its animation. The animation is visually and just looks stunning. You would expect that from this film. But this does something interesting with animation. Something which Disney and Illumination are not doing. Something DreamWorks have done once with Puss in Boots. But what they do is whenever the mood changes, whenever the tone changes, the colour changes. And there are some scenes in this film where the characters are just showing all their emotion, just digging deep down in all that pain, showing that emotion, telling them all their problems, and the characters don't change, but behind them, the colours change. Oil pastel, for example, it looks like oil pastels, and the smudges in the background and everything, and it's really effective because you're able to connect with the characters more in the form of feeling their pain. That being said, it's not all emotional and everything. It is very funny as well. It's got some really good humour in there, and it manages to capture the age that Miles and Gwen are at and make it feel relatable to someone like my age, which I feel like the Spider-Man films as a whole have always been good at, but I feel like this one in particular does it in a different way that makes you connect with it a little bit differently. I find that I connect really well with Andrew Garfield's performance as Spider-Man, but I connect really well with these two as well at the same time. I really do think that their performances and just the way that they connect to their audience is really, really good. Also, thing to point out here is that there are some good cameos in there. You know, this film is Multiverse of Madness. If you didn't know, I was incredibly disappointed with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I really just do not like that film very much at all. But this is Multiverse of Madness. This film is Spider-Man in the Multiverse of Madness. There are some really good earned mini cameos in there. Multi-generational, which there is going to be some people in the screen that don't understand it, but then them older audiences that do understand it. As that I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, I understood the majority of these, if not everyone. Next thing to talk about here is that this isn't much of a negative or just anything in there, but there is no credit scene. This is something I get asked a little bit. Is there a credit scene? Nope, there are no credit scenes. I cannot remember the last time a film did not have a credit scene. But no credit scenes. There is one little thing in there after the mid-credits, but really, you don't need to stay for it, but if you're invested, then you will. Next thing to talk about here is that this film is part 1, and it is 100% part 1. This film has some real big cliffhangers, to which I feel like I can't share all my thoughts on this film because it is part 1 and the story isn't complete. But as soon as you get into sort of when the film has about 40 minutes left, the stakes are raised higher and you're on the edge of your seat waiting for more to happen, to which you're at the point where you're nervous for the film to end if you know it's going to be a cliffhanger. I knew this film was part 1, so I was expecting a cliffhanger, to which for the last 10 minutes I was on the edge of my seat, not wanting this film to end, because I didn't want them to just leave it on the note which they did. And it is a really good cliffhanger, but painful at the same time. So yeah, it was a pretty rough cliffhanger in there. But you know, just Also, next thing to point out here is that the characters are just so charming. The new characters in particular, Oscar Isaacs, Miguel O'Hara, the Spider-Man 2099. I've been waiting so long to see this bad boy in an actual film, and we finally got him. We have Spider-Woman in here, Spider-Punk, who is a big standout. We have loads of other ones. The Insomniac Spider-Man is in there, who has been in the trailers. And there's just so many others. There's no point me even naming them. There's just no point whatsoever at all. And overall, I thought this film was really good. The only thing which is holding me off from saying it's perfect is that it's part 1. So my opinions are probably going to change a lot when part 2 comes out, Beyond the Spider-Verse. So we'll just have to wait and see with that. Few negatives I have here though is the biggest negative here I feel is the film takes a while to get going, which is fine at first because obviously it is a very character-based film. It spends a lot of time developing Gwen and Miles, but like the marketing for this film has solely been based on everything in the Multiverse Spider-Man. None of that lets down. Anything to do with all the Spider-Men, Spider-People, whatever, none of it is a letdown. But the marketing for this film doesn't market much of anything outside of that. The villain in this film isn't really revealed in the trailers. The villain that is shown in the trailers seems more like just a quick heist at the beginning, but then they are put into more. So the point I'm making here is that I do feel like the film takes a little while to get going, and I feel like when you rewatch this film, you'll probably I don't think I will enjoy the setup as much because I'll more be urging to get into the Spider-Verse and everything. But that's not saying that I didn't like any of the other stuff, because like I was saying, the way that they show emotions and develop the characters is really, really good, and I really do like that. I just kind of wish it didn't take as long. Like, even the opening logos don't come in till like 10-15 minutes into the film. You know, there's just a few little like problems with that, I guess. Next thing on here, the only other negative I have is that I feel like this film is a much more bigger film, and there will be people who miss just a casual animated Spider-Man film. There are going to be some people who are just a bit like, this is too much, I prefer the first one. The first one was a lot more easy watch. That's fine. and I can relate to you in that form. Although I do really love this film, I can understand where people are coming from, that they may just prefer the easier going Spider-Man, the Into the Spider-Verse, where it was a bit more chill, it was a bit more it was a bit more like just relatable to more casual audiences, in the form that it wasn't crazy emotional all the time, like things like that. So what the issues I'm saying, it may come across as I'm nitpicking and saying some really like stuff in a really clunky way. I'm not doing that just to make a point or anything. I'm doing it because it's really hard to point these things out, because the good stuff outweighed the bad stuff so well. So it's really hard to make the point of the bad thing, and none of these problems do hold off the film much for me. But I really did enjoy this film. I got a good old kick out of this film, and I cannot wait for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. So I am going to give this film an 8 out of 10, and I suggest you do go see this film on the biggest screen possible and have the time of your life. So yeah, guys, that is going to wrap up this video. Thank you so much for watching. Please do comment, like, and subscribe, share with your friends and family. Let me know your thoughts down below on this. We are going to be doing some spoiler discussions. We're going to get some people to come and do spoiler discussions with us, so look out for that, and I'll do a live spoiler review at some point as well. Sorry, it's been a little bit delayed. We've had to do some stuff, but we're back now. And in fact, today I'm about to go see Transformers, so that's pretty cool. So that is all for this video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.